Trade protectionism refers to the economic policy of restricting imports to safeguard domestic industries, jobs, and national security. It involves imposing tariffs, quotas, and other barriers to foreign goods and services. While protectionist measures are intended to protect local industries from foreign competition, they can have both positive and negative consequences for the economy. Historical context of trade protectionism. The idea of protecting domestic industries through trade barriers has been practiced for centuries. During the mercantilist era in the 16th to 18th centuries, European countries implemented policies to accumulate gold and silver reserves by exporting more than they imported. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, industrializing nations such as the United States and Germany embraced protectionism to foster their infant industries. However, this approach fell out of favor with the advent of free trade theories proposed by economists like Adam Smith and David Ricardo. Rationale for trade protectionism. Several arguments have been put forth in support of trade protectionism. Protecting domestic industries. The primary motive behind protectionism is to safeguard domestic industries from foreign competition, especially in cases where they face a significant disadvantage due to lower labor costs or higher subsidies in other countries. Protectionism aims to provide these industries with time to grow and become more competitive before facing international competition. Job preservation. Protecting domestic industries can help preserve jobs in those sectors. By limiting imports, the demand for locally produced goods and services may rise, leading to increased employment opportunities for domestic workers. National security. Some argue that certain industries are vital for national security, and reliance on foreign sources may pose a threat during times of crisis. By protecting these industries, countries can ensure they have a secure and reliable domestic supply of critical goods and technologies. Leveling the playing field. Protectionism is seen as a way to address unfair trade practices, such as dumping, selling goods below cost to gain market share, and currency manipulation, which may distort international trade. Benefits of trade protectionism. Domestic industry support. Trade protectionism can provide temporary support to domestic industries, allowing them to develop and become competitive in the long run. This can contribute to industrial growth and technological advancement. Job creation. By shielding domestic industries from foreign competition, protectionism can create and maintain jobs, particularly in labor-intensive sectors, which can be crucial for social stability and reduced unemployment rates. National security assurance. Protectionism can ensure that key industries are not overly reliant on foreign sources, safeguarding a country's strategic interests and reducing vulnerabilities during geopolitical tensions or emergencies. Revenue generation. Import tariffs and other trade barriers can generate government revenue, which can be used to fund public projects and services. Drawbacks of trade protectionism. Higher consumer prices. Protectionist measures often lead to higher prices for imported goods, limiting consumers' access to affordable products. This effectively acts as a regressive tax on consumers, disproportionately affecting low-income households. Retaliation and trade wars. When a country implements protectionist measures, other nations may respond with similar actions, leading to a trade war. Trade wars can escalate tensions, disrupt global supply chains, and harm the global economy. Loss of export opportunities. Trade protectionism can result in other countries retaliating with their own trade barriers. This can restrict the export opportunities for domestic industries and lead to decreased revenues for exporters. Inefficiency and innovation stagnation. By sheltering domestic industries from international competition, protectionism may reduce incentives for innovation and increase inefficiencies within those industries. Alternative approaches to international trade. While trade protectionism has its proponents and opponents, several alternative approaches to international trade can be considered. Free trade. The classic free trade approach, as advocated by economists like Adam Smith and David Ricardo, argues for minimal or no trade barriers, allowing for the efficient allocation of resources and the maximization of overall economic welfare. Fair trade. Fair trade initiatives seek to promote ethical and sustainable practices in global trade, ensuring that producers in developing countries receive fair wages and working conditions. Regional trade agreements. Countries can foster trade relationships through regional trade agreements like the North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA, or the European Union, EU. These agreements aim to facilitate trade within specific regions while still allowing each member state to retain its sovereignty. Bilateral trade agreements. Two countries can negotiate bilateral trade agreements to reduce trade barriers and enhance economic ties between them. Conclusion. Trade protectionism remains a topic of debate and contention in the world of international economics. While its proponents argue that it can protect domestic industries, preserve jobs, and ensure national security, the drawbacks of higher consumer prices, potential trade wars, and reduced export opportunities must also be carefully considered. In today's interconnected global economy, finding a balance between protecting domestic industries and fostering international cooperation is essential. Policymakers need to carefully weigh the benefits and drawbacks of trade protectionism and consider alternative approaches to ensure long-term economic growth and prosperity.